The functions of loop of Henle, the thick ascending part, first descending part, thin ascending, then thick ascending part is impermeable to water. It is not allowing water to go. Poorly permeable to all the solutes. Actively removes sodium and chloride, potassium in the ratio of 1:2:1 out. Go, it is saying. So there is also paracellular reabsorption of sodium, calcium, magnesium, phosphate. So the tubular fluid becomes more hypertonic as it goes upwards, ascends upward. Thick part is also secreting hydrogen by counter transport with sodium. So when you see the loop of Henle, when it comes down, it loses water. The solutes increases. It becomes a hypertonic. Then it turns in the loop of Henle. Then it goes up. It loses the solutes. It becomes isotonic. Iso means equal. Then hypo. So hyper becomes iso, becomes hypo. Hypertonic becomes isotonic, becomes hypotonic. It goes up. The water is not going, but the solutes are actively going outside. So it becomes a hypotonic. Okay. When you see the urine, how it is just, you can just feel like a fluid. It is just a fluid. Virtually, sometimes when you drink good amount of water, you can see the urine will be just very clear fluid. So the functions of loop of Henle is, it is taking back the water and the sodium, chloride, potassium, calcium, bicarbonate, magnesium, and it is throwing the hydrogen into the lumen. Okay, so 25% of reabsorption is happening in this parts of the loop of Henle. This diagram, it shows you some important and interesting pictures. One depiction is here. Loop diuretics. What is this loop diuretics? When the amount of water in the body is more, or when the pressure of the blood is more, doctors want the fluid to go out of the body. They want the fluid to go out of the body. So in that kind of a situation, when sodium is reabsorbed, water is reabsorbed, chloride is reabsorbed, potassium is reabsorbed. In these kind of situations, what happens is, the example you will take is furosemide. What happens is, furosemide will block everything. So sodium, chloride, potassium, they will go in the urine along with it water. So when you give furosemide to a patient, there will be large amount of urine output. So the excess fluid, for example, in edema situations, you give furosemide, excess fluid will go. So you will ask the kidney to produce more urine so that the excess of fluid will go out of the body. Okay. Now coming to the distal convoluted tubule, collecting duct. This is very interesting because the initial part of the distal tubule has the same character of reabsorption of the thick part of the ascending limb of Henle, loop of Henle. It is impermeable to water. Active reabsorption of solutes will happen here. It is called the diluting segment. What happens here? The distal tubule, the initial part, late part, two things are there, distal tubule. In the initial part has the same character of reabsorption of the ascending part of the loop of Henle, thick part of the ascending limb of loop of Henle. It is impermeable to water. We have seen, no? When the loop of Henle, water is moving almost everywhere, we see impermeable. So active reabsorption of solutes is happening. It is called the diluting segment. Already the hypertonic, which is before the turn, has become isotonic. Now hypotonic. As it goes up and up, it is more and more hypo. The late part, distal tubule, and the cortical collecting tubule, they are impermeable to urea. Now they are impermeable to urea. So they absorb sodium in exchange with potassium secreted by the principal cells. It is controlled by aldosterone. Now comes this hormone, aldosterone. What is aldosterone? Sodium conserving hormone, sodium loving hormone. So when aldosterone comes, it will try to take the sodium back, along with it water back. Okay, they reabsorbed water under the control of antidiuretic hormone. One more hormone, antidiuretic hormone. The name itself is very clear. Diuresis is formation of more urine. Diuresis, more urine. Antidiuresis, less urine. Anti-diuretic hormone means it will act on the body so that more amount of fluid is reabsorbed. So that is called anti-diuresis. No diuresis. No more loss of water in the urine. Okay? Anti-diuretic hormone will be acting and it will cause increase the permeability so that reabsorption of water is better. So functions of it, secretion also can happen. Hydrogen which is secreted by the intercalated cells by the primary active hydrogen ATPase mechanism. There is something called hydrogen ATPase. So that will be secreting hydrogen. For each hydrogen secretion, bicarbonate will be reabsorbed. In both the distal convoluted tubule and in the cortical collecting duct, both the potassium and hydrogen will compete for secretion. So increase in each of them will favor its secretion. We will see that with a picture. Hydrogen is secreted in acidosis while potassium is secreted in hyperkalemia. So intercalated cells play an important role in acid-base balance. Now this picture, very clear. What it shows, this is a tubular lumen. This is the cell. This is the interstitium. This is the, again, interstitial space, and this is the blood area. Okay. What happens is, when hydrogen is moving out, chloride is also moving out because it's a hydrogen ATPase pump. ATP is used to pull the hydrogen outside. Now what happens is, carbon dioxide from the cell, it can go into the blood and it will be going out of the body through respiratory system.